back. Sorry for the delay. As you may have noticed, I have put an update in the community tab in relation to my sister channel, Twin Flame Alchemist Communion. And it doesn't have to be for twin flames. I'm going to create a lot of new videos directly connected to ascension, spirituality, chakras. It's going to be an informative channel that you can always go back to. In this way, this channel's Claire. And I'll be doing live sessions on the other channel as time permits. Now, I am going to be structuring things differently, and that is due to the fact that coming into union did put a spanner in the works, and I also need to be more available to you guys. And while I'm constantly recording such long, large videos, I'm not getting the live sessions done as much. We had a public holiday for the school holidays here, which has got me through this month ready to provide you guys with everything. But it needs to be a more manageable situation. So I'm going to be covering monthly astrology. I'm also going to be doing the same, which is videos connected to obviously your finances and your love life. But as for the twin flame, it's going to be information videos on the other channel and more regular live sessions coming to you with the downloads, because I feel they're going to serve you a lot better. Obviously, if it comes through in the read in the romance house of the zodiac sign, I will make mention to it and it will still directly be relevant to you. Now, each month I'm going to be doing full moon and new moon and obviously eclipse videos. So you're still going to get the same format. It's just going to be more organized and structured. Now, there is a large Taurus energy coming through with the astrology. So initially it is the moon, and that is the 5th. So for me, I'm already in the Taurus moon. But there are other planets transitioning from Aries into Taurus, and that's Mercury by the 6th. Uranus is already in that stationary position of Taurus. We also have the sun in Taurus. It is going to be moving into Gemini on the 21st, which will be a different energy again. We have the moon in Taurus, and Venus is going to be moving on the 15th into Taurus. So it's really unique. You know, look at the Taurus frequency and see how it directly connects with you. It's a very abundant kind of it's very tactile, so it likes the finer things in life. So we're really, I feel, going to be looking at the energies of where, even though we have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter retrograde doesn't mean there's no growth. And yes, it does mean there's changes, but it definitely is showing us energetically what's out of alignment for us. And I can rattle off, and I'll go through all 12 zodiac signs, and I'll pull a card per zodiac sign for what's coming up for you guys individually. Now, romantically speaking, we are currently in the Aries frequency, but as I mentioned, moving into the 15th, it is moving through to Taurus and our Venus house. And that's for everyone. Venus on its own is going to be in the planet, in the zodiac sign Taurus. So you're going to be looking at your relationships more in a romantic notion, more of what is valuable, what's not. The way you communicate is going to be more potentially, we have had last month a lot of heart chakra activation. A lot of us at the base chakra level have been having a lot of activations as well. So it may be, you know, needing to go to the toilet or feeling irritable, lower back pains, cramps, cycles changing. A lot of that has been going on. The heart chakra activation does happen at various degrees, but I am seeing it to be quite a romantic time we're moving into. You'll find that the frequency will lighten, more in a sense of the deep reflection of what you feel is going to be more spiritual to you. Regardless of whether it's your moon sign or not, it's still going to directly impact you. Again, it will impact certain areas of your life in a particular house, but yet again, collectively, we will be experiencing this energy. For Aries, it is the 2nd house. So I'll start off the bat, and we will tune into what we're seeing each zodiac sign. The 2nd house does cover anything from professional resources, your possessions, your land, your material value, but it's not. It's more how do I put it? It's more at the financial aspect of things. So it's your direct assets, and it's more, you know, your TV, your home, your value, and, you know, all the lavish things in life. So it may be that you're looking at purchasing items and getting things and assessing the assets that you have, assessing your personal net worth, and looking, and again, it can be from a spiritual level. It doesn't have to be from a tactile level, because the, you know, our perspective and perception can be changing. We may actually see value in different things where we didn't. Again, I am feeling some of you may actually find something of value that you didn't know you have. But you can be doing a stock take in those areas and assessing what you're wanting. And again, you do have the Sun card coming up in your second house. I do feel as though you're really looking at your financial aspects, and it's like, okay, what am I going to be investing my money in? And again, when we do look at money, we do look at heart chakra. We do look at the manifestation of those areas and, you know, see our value. Again, this is a very spiritual time we're moving through. Definitely Saturn is changing over at the end of the year. It's going to go through a frequency change where it is moving. So, you know, everyone who's been talking about 2020, it's very relevant. This is a time frame where we've got the foundational work happening. We're assessing a lot of what is and what isn't, what is and isn't in alignment with us, and what we're moving forward towards. So the past few months have been super heavy. It's almost felt like we've been at a therapist session. You know, what do we take with us? What do we leave behind? I do feel you guys are getting really, really strict with what's valuable and what's not. You do tend to find that when you're going through an awakening, there are certain things you detach from. There's also certain things you find more value in, and you can be really, really looking at that. And it's interesting because the Sun is in Taurus. Can't make this shit up. So the Sun is going to be working very heavily with you. Now, at a lower degree, it can be an egoic state where you're really looking at financial aspects, but there's going to be a lesson in this area. It's like, okay, what at a real 3D level is valuable? It's a bit like selling your soul to the devil. It's like, okay, now and I really feel this is collective energy. Yeah, I thought red. I was like, red, I'll just go red. What at a valuable level do you feel your life is worth? And it can be where you're actually looking at your finances, the way you invest with people, Aries, the way you interact with people, and making your money work for you, not you working for your money, especially in the second house, and really being cautious about what you're investing in. For Taurus, let's have a look. It's your first house, so it's all about yourself. It's all about your self-esteem, the way you look at yourself. It can be that you're changing aspects of your wardrobe, the way people are looking at you, but it's really about the way you're looking at yourself right now. So it can be that all of a sudden you feel that you just want to throw things out and you want to change it up a bit. You're having a life makeover, so to speak. You're like, right, out with the old, in with the new. This can be even disconnecting from what people are thinking about you, because again, with the Sun being in Taurus, it's like, okay, am I caught up too much in what people are thinking of me? What do I think about myself? First house. Because it doesn't really matter what a person thinks about you, because it directly connects to them. It's almost like the mirror. So you can get to a point where you might be getting triggered. It can be bringing things up from your past where people are having a perspective and a perception of you. The mirror always relates back to that person, not you. But if it's triggering you, it's the karmic energy. So it's a blockage you have to look at and go, okay, now if there's something I want to change about myself, what do I need to do? There is movement in this area and there is change happening. It's about you taking the bull by the horns and going, okay, how do I see myself? And is there anything that I want to change in the way I see myself? So it's really making peace with yourself at the moment, and it's really choosing to just come out in your own beautiful light, and very much like a budding bloom, stepping into the beauty of who you are, communicating your truth, especially with Mercury by the 6th moving into Taurus. The Sun definitely is there, so it could be the way you're prospectively looking at yourself. All of a sudden that's changing and you're really not explaining, but living your truth of who you are and coming into your own. There is a lot of manifestation happening around this moon. So there can be energies of things that you're wanting to get up and off the ground. And when it comes to romance, really stepping into your own energy and knowing that you're super hot right now, okay? So just being yourself and not being anyone other than that, because the people that come towards you are directly attracted by your light. The blockages you spiritually have tends to be an energy of what a person's projecting, and that's theirs. It's a bit like handing it back to them. It's going, well, okay, that's really interesting. You look at it this way. Well, I know who I am, and you know who I am. So here you go, have that one back. Gemini, yours falls in your 12th house. This is a very spiritual house. It's your subconscious mind. It's your hidden resources. It's the secrets, the enemies, responsibilities. It can also be a very karmic area. It can be the 5D. Yeah, drop it like that. It can be the 5D. So it can be karma. It can be third-party energies. It can be spirituality. For Gemini, there is a lot of changes happening. And I do feel, really pay attention to your thoughts. Really pay attention to... too many. Really pay attention to what you can take control over, especially with the way you're communicating. It may be that some things that you say are suddenly giving you a revelation in your mind. They could also be, you know, with the sun being in Taurus for you guys, again, egoic mind, 5D, 3D, looking at things and saying, okay, what is my side of the fence? What is this person's side of the fence? How can I deal with this? What are the secrets that I'm holding? Where am I not coming out and being uniquely me? Intuitively speaking, you'll find that in this position for you guys, pay close attention to your intuition. Really get to a point where, you know, if you're feeling something, ask yourself the reasons why. If you're fearing something, ask the reasons why. There can be a lot of healing in this area, but it is a very psychic energy, very much connected to the 5D. You know, okay? So you know the deal with certain situations. Whatever your mind is telling you, pay attention to it. Is it telling you something, especially with your Venus being in Taurus? Have a look around the 15th and moving into it, because 9 times out of 10 you'll pick up the energy beforehand, and it's stating a trend of what it's going to be, and it's moving towards that energy. With Taurus, if you can come to a place with the Venus placement in your 12th house, check in with yourself about what you're thinking. Now find a space to sit and meditate. Now when we say meditate, it can be, okay, sit and whatever's coming to you in a sense of a download. Is it your fear or is it a known vibration, gut? Get your base chakra into alignment. For all of us going through this, you know, if we're getting any pain body experiences, any areas, I'm feeling gut. So sacral chakra, solar plexus, work on those areas, Gemini, and get in touch with your subconscious mind. Because if there's a blockage through the crown, moving into these areas, you can be having an activation of the heart chakra, and this is for everyone. You'll have heart chakra with Venus house. With Mercury, again, it could be throat chakra with the aspect of your communication. Uranus and Taurus, again, the crown chakra, so it can be headaches and it can be third eye activation with the sun, again, in Taurus. So pay attention to your downloads and get to a point you know exactly where you want to go. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Trust your intuition and navigate through your romantic sector, your manifestations of what you're wanting to create, the way you communicate, and your spiritual path. I mean, we are in retrograde for 4 to 5 months. So this will still directly correlate with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. Again, Uranus, very connected to Jupiter. What are you moving towards? What are you building? Build it and they will come, but don't build something that you feel isn't in alignment with you. With Pluto, what do you need to end subconsciously? What do you need to let go at a spiritual level? What's hidden? What secrets are you holding or you potentially feel another is? Number one, we can't be in control of another person, but we need to tap into ourselves and trust our gut when it comes to making decisions, that if we're not wanting to do something and we do it, we've only got ourselves to blame. So trust in your intuition. Cancer. Taurus is your 11th house. Now that's connected to your friends, clubs, associations, and aspirations. Now, you're going to need to communicate your truth. Make sure that you're communicating effectively. This is so funny. Hi, Beck. I haven't got to your zodiac sign yet. Oh, I did, didn't I? Okay. So, pay attention to, what the way you speak to your friends. Now, it's moving from Aries and then it's moving into Taurus. So it can be you needing to be quite blunt, or people are being blunt with you. That it's all work, no play, accountability, and an imbalance going on, so to speak. But it's moving into Taurus, as I said, by the 6th. Now, by the 6th, I do feel the way you're talking and interacting with these individuals can be quite busy for you. Friends, clubs, associations, aspirations. It can be that you're really it's weird. I've just heard head and heart. Now, you've got the sun, head. You've got the moon, feminine energy, masculine, feminine. You've got Venus from Aries, then moving into Taurus on the 15th. You've also got Uranus, your spiritual core sense, moving towards that. It's like really be cautious about, and I'm hearing self, and I don't know why I'm picking up first house, but it's not. The nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, you guys are going through a change throughout the year, okay? The reality is with your friends, are you doing what you like, or are you doing what they like? You have to be spiritually connected to it, and it might feel very different for you. You might be more generous with your time, but it may impact your health, so you need to be cautious around this time. With the energy of Taurus, with the communication sector, your movement, your travel, your short journeys, your technology, you may want to upgrade in those areas, but when it does come to it, it might be external people needing on you for these things, your friends, things you directly connected to, your hopes and dreams may need upgrades with potentially, it could be your car needs upgrading in some shape or form, and it might be that you're wanting to beautify it, again, because Mercury can be connected to transport. When it comes to your spiritual sense, you're wanting to mix with people that are more in alignment with you, lighter frequencies. You could be super more romantic as well. But again, it's, healthy boundaries with these people, because you might be crossing the line when it does come to this. Venus is in Taurus. Now, with it being friends, clubs, associations, aspirations, it may be for some of you, you're actually looking at the entity and energy of commitments and what they mean. And where there might be friends that are actually directly connected, and you're looking at that and you're assessing that dynamic. But again, what are you wanting to manifest, especially when it comes to your life and the values? We'll pick a card and we'll see what's coming through. But your aspirations can be in your Venus house, that you're wanting to move your commitment to the next level. You are focused very heavily on finances, and it may mean that you feel, again, it might be quite an intoxicating love affair. It might be something to the degree of, this is the gold digger card, but in the sense of the placement with Venus and Taurus. Connected to Venus, aspirations. You're really into this situation, and you're only going to partake in something that you really are into it. You want this to be an abundant connection, and you want to take it to the next level. With your manifestations, again, you're manifesting beautiful things. You're manifesting better things into your life. With the sun, the way you see things, the way you're looking at, it could be you're looking at things with rose-colored glasses, but you're really working very hard at the moment, and it might mean that you need to have a little bit more balance. With Mercury and your communication, it could be a lot of networking. It might be, again, that you're upgrading a vehicle or trying to change technology, but there is a lot of socialization, but you're only doing what you're completely into. You're being very selective. If you're not liking something, you're going to kick it to the curb. You're like, nah, this isn't my thing. And it could be an avoidance of anything unattractive I'm finding. Next zodiac sign. Sagittarius. Okay. Your placement for Taurus is your 6th house. Now, this is to do with your work environment, your work, your habits, your routine, and your health. Be careful, guys. Being in your health, Taurus can be very indulgent in the finer things in life. It might be, and especially with Jupiter retrograde, it's going to ask you, you know, have you been biting off a little bit more than you can chew? It may be that you are undernourished or overnourished. It may be that your emotions are getting the better of you and you're enjoying fine food, you're enjoying fine wine, example only. Again, with Taurus, it is very much the finer things in life. So it can be with those areas where you feel more relaxed, you're more into the frequency of it, and you're doing things and speaking about things in a more romantic sense. It could be that you're more open, that you're more talking about the bigger picture. It can be also spiritually speaking. Again, when it does come to the sixth house, you may be assessing your job and looking at something and networking to find a better position. You're assessing it. You're assessing your everyday life and the work you're doing. Fresh start. So there's fresh starts going on in these direct areas with what you're wanting to manifest, with the way you're seeing things and the way you're communicating and your romantic sector. So there's a change in your romance house. You're looking at if there's something again, and it might be, and I don't know why I keep picking this Taurus energy with the moon. It's almost like Venus. That's the energy I'm feeling. It's a very romantic time, but it's very grounded. Okay, so it's probably Librans weigh out, you know, the pros and cons. Taurus is a more anchored and grounded energy in that frequency. So with Venus and Taurus working together, it's like, yes, the balance, but hey, hang on a minute, let's look at the grounded and anchored energy with it. I feel with the sixth house, your routine, you're going to be looking at family dynamic if you're in a family. You're wanting to turn over a new leaf, and whatever that be in your decision mind that you feel will spiritually take you to that level, you will do. If you feel a situation is out of alignment, you will be moving towards what is in alignment with you. Is it impacting your health? What routine do you need to change? What habits have you got to date that potentially need to be looked at to change to get to that next level? It may be, I'm hearing that you're wanting to balance things out because it's affecting your everyday life, you know, in the way you have to communicate, in the way you're dealing with work colleagues, in the way it might be impacting your sleeping pattern. I'm hearing fatigue, and I'm hearing that you're wanting to, and it can be with this energy of the fresh start, that when Jupiter goes retrograde, Jupiter's the planet of expansion. It can be to the point where you haven't had as much time to pay attention to your health, that you're now looking at it in the retrograde cycle, especially connected to your spiritual path, Taurus being an indulgent energy of the lavish and Jupiter being the planet of expansion. So 9 times out of 10 when Jupiter goes retrograde, we do tend to assess our diet and any habits we have, and we check in with those, especially with the Taurus frequency coming through. I feel it's very relevant to Sagittarius. Capricorn. Everyone's gone so quiet. Taurus is your 5th house, Capricorn. Okay. 5th house governs romance, birth, children, and luck. For some of you, although it's retrograde, you may be actually looking at things and saying, okay, you know, what from the communication initially will be in the 1st house placement, but not your 1st house placement. The way you're looking at things with the Taurus frequency in your 5th house is, you know, talking to people. It could be hearing the news of a child that's going to be born, considering the birth of a child or a new venture. Children in general are quite dominantly coming through, but it can be a lot of communication with that area. Spiritually speaking, you are moving towards, again, things that are more in alignment, and the dream, especially with Neptune energy. What's the dream and what are you wanting to move towards? Could it be that you want more children? Could it be that you want more romance in your life? With the sun, again, a real reflective energy of your romantic sector and your family dynamics. So romance, birth, children, and luck. It could be that you're really looking at your luck, and it could be a change of luck, because as long as you're moving towards what you're passionate about, you're going to have more energy to achieve those things. So it's a perfect time with the retrograde and the Taurus frequency coming through to have a check-in with yourself and go, okay, would I be more successful if I loved what I was doing? The card you've got is working with things that you know. You have the inner knowing. You know some things are changing in these areas. It can be that at a romantic level, you're assessing your romance and there's things that you can do to move towards a better vibration. You can also romance yourself. This doesn't have to be connected to a romantic partner. If you're tuning into one, yes. But again, it's for what you feel you're worth and what you're moving towards. Knowing that whatever is worth your time is going to come towards you, especially with the Taurus energy, self-worth, and the lavish things, but owning that as a frequency to manifest it. With your romance house, I feel you're going to be looking at it and assessing it. Now, if it's in a high frequency and you feel as though the energy is going to be something that you're worth committing to, you will take it to the next level for a lot of you. And this really is a year for Capricorn to have mass changes. And I do feel it's through the whole year for you guys, especially with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn. But you're going to be looking at your romantic sector. For some of you that did break up, you're looking at it and you're reflecting on it, but you're actually moving forward and knowing your worth. There is a lot of forgiveness and heart chakra activation. With the moon, I do feel you're wanting to manifest something in, but you need to release something first. It's like you're back and forward in your mind. You've got the sun and the moon. So you're balancing both perspectives potentially of the story. And you could be casting a critical eye on the situation to assess it. Again, with the communication, I do feel some of you have word from a love interest, or you may actually be communicating with them. But it's a very grounded, anchored in energy where you're talking about the truth. Again, with the Neptune, it might be that you're reminiscing with a person or just in general yourself reminiscing about it with the Neptunian energy of the dream. Again, this is a time where we can manifest large energies with Neptune and the moon being in Taurus, because it is the dreamlike state. The dream in the 5D can become the dream in the 3D, but with the retrograde cycle, it's what's helping us actually realize what we would need to do to make that happen. Aquarius, your placement of Taurus is your 4th house. The psychological foundation. Oh, God. Domestic issues, endings, parents, and home. So you're looking at your home sector, and you might be communicating with people directly involved in that area. It may be that there is movement happening on the home front, and you're looking at that, and you're assessing, whether the home environment actually directly relates to you. You may be looking at, spiritually what you'd hoped it could be, but you might be pausing to a degree and seeing a glimpse of hope. By detaching and trusting in the process, the communication factor is important to hear the truth. There's missing information. If you're in your ego, sun being in Taurus, you're not going to hear the full story. You're painting a picture of what you want, but you need to paint the bigger picture. So I do feel there's going to be more information coming to you. And again, I almost choked there. And it's going to surprise you. It's more information, and it's going to be better than you thought. It's better than you thought, guys. We tend to think the retrograde cycle is like, oh, God, towers, and it's terrible. It's not going to happen. And trust me, a tower moment is to make it happen. It doesn't look like it at the time, but everything happens for a reason. So trust in the process. Mercury and Taurus for you guys on the 6th is going to help you look at, okay, could be a new vehicle. It may be, I'll leave it. You've had 2 cards pop up. Obviously, you guys are dealing with some interesting energy. So in your 4th house, what's the home environment like? Be real. Some of you might be painting a pretty picture, but you need to go into your 3rd eye and know that you have power to manifest things, okay? We all have divine power. If it's out of your control, it's out of your power. Stop focusing on it. Trust in the process that everything happens for a reason. The movement is happening. It's moving in a beautiful fashion. Trust in that process. Anything that's not in alignment with you needs to be addressed. And I do feel negotiation, especially with Mercury being in Taurus. There can be a lot of negotiations when it comes to what you need to continue on with. It could be with parents. It could be with mother, father figure. They don't have to be biological figures. It could also be the psychological foundation and things in past tense, what needs to be moved forward. A lot of communication though. Now, if this is with a person that you're in love with and you've been waiting for that communication, yes, it's saying there could be communication. It could also be in a reflective sense that you're talking about the past in order to move forward, because Neptune and the moon energy and Uranus, it's about that manifestation, and with the Taurus energy in Venus on the 15th. Now, considering you're assessing, romantically speaking, what the psychological foundation is, what the domestic issues are, what you need to end, and parents. It could be a co-parenting situation going on, and you're looking at things. There can be, for some of you, what do you need to leave behind? Now, it could be the wound, right? Although the energy of Taurus is coming through in so many placements, if you're holding on to something so tightly, you're not letting the new come in, you could be blocking it from manifesting. So have a check-in, and you've had 2 cards fall out. I feel this is a blockage. So for Aquarians, it can be that you're having a spiritual upgrade right now. And it feels frightening because there's changes, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's movement, there's change of accommodation. There could be triggering me where we need to talk about our truth. And what if I get judged by that? There could be conflicts with parents where you feel they're not accepting you for who you were, and that can be past tense. It can be a purge from, parents passed on, and what does that mean, and what is my position, and where am I in life? However it directly relates to you, the physical foundation doesn't have to come just to the here and now. If you've been holding on to a wound and it's starting to directly impact your 3D, as many astrologers have told you, a lot of the movements, potentially from 2016, have been moving us to this point for 2020. So the more you battle against things that need to change, the more you are avoiding the work due to a pain body experience and blockages, and you're going, oh, I don't really want to assess that, address that, because it's painful. Letting go and trusting that everything happens is meant to happen is going to help. If we fight against it, again, with the sun being in Taurus, it can be on a higher realm, it can be the manifestation and what we can see with our third eye. On the lower realm, it can be an egoic experience. And because of a pain body experience and me feeling stuck and everything's going to stay the same, it's going to stay the same. And until you can purge that, you're battling with your ego, you're preventing the new from coming in. Trust in the process. And I feel it's fair. It is. It's just fair. But I do feel it's crucial to have the communication and to speak the truth about what you're wanting. But you can't change another person, but you can know who you are. Pisces. Yours is your second house. Again, you're looking at your professional resources, your networking, your possessions, your land, your material value. You could be very concerned on your own cash component. This is not in relation to accommodation, okay? This is more in relation to what you have as a sense of an asset at a financial level. And again, it can be at an egoic state if you're getting triggered and you're feeling blocked. You can be looking at the path forward. There can be a lot of communication. Again, I'm hearing smooth talker, okay? When it comes to networking, and although this is your professional resources, you know who you can talk to and who you can network with. You also are going to have the gift of the gab, I do feel, when it does come to networking in your field of employment. If you're marketing or anything to that degree, you've got the Taurus frequency coming through. It's going to be positive for you, providing you use the gift of the gab and you paint that pretty picture. Spiritually speaking, I do feel you need to check in with lightening the load. Now, it can be where you've got conflicting energies and it's your soul path versus, what you think on the 3D you're worth. there's this opposing frequency going on where it's like, okay, I need X, Y, and Z, and then you're going, oh, but that's a lot. And it could be that you're moving home and you're looking at it and you're going, what do I take with me? What do I leave behind? What does society say I need, and what do I actually believe I need? And do I trust in the process that any movement into that spiritual path is going to provide me with everything I need? Again, you're looking very critically at this area. And I do feel you're wanting to manifest something in. And again, there can be this interesting energy where it's like 5D, 3D, I keep hearing. You're looking at it and you're going, okay, well, you know, my ego is telling me one thing and the 3D is telling me one thing, but the moon, that, you know, moving into the feminine frequency of the empath, 5D, I know what I want and I know how to get it. So trust in that process. You do need to actually come to a place where you can anchor the masculine and the feminine, the sun and the moon energy, and make them work together, because you've got to have the realistic energy of the 3D plus the truth of what you can and can't handle, and the reality of the 5D, the dream, the intuitive aspect of things where you've tapped into, and how you can bring them both together. And trust in the process. Everything happens for a reason. Your Venus house. Again, okay, you guys aren't impressed. Some of you are wondering if people are only wanting you for what you can offer at a financial level. This might be a purge from the past. Again, moving into it, you are only moving towards what you feel is spiritually in alignment with you. And again, you might be looking at things and asking yourself, what are you willing to give and what are they putting in? And I do feel it's the natural ebb and flow of the give and take. And if the give and take is not there in the situation, you're going to be speaking your truth about it. There is a lot of conversations, and there could be a declaration of love towards you. And again, whatever you're declaring your truth. Your truth is really coming up, where you're overcoming the old ways of doing things. You're overcoming your old belief patterns, and you're ready to take this new frequency on. I do feel there's a lot of assessment of your future, though, and you are looking at your planning. You're in the planning stage. So you're looking at things and you're saying, okay, you're learning a lot about yourself. And it can be people being very brash with you, but even assessing the way you communicate. And it might be looking at things from a different perspective of how can you communicate your truth without feeling you're going to fight for it. Sometimes when we tend to come off very cross, it's because in the past we haven't had people acknowledge our truth. So therefore we get frustrated when they're forcing us to be an energy and a frequency we're actually not. I do feel there is truth that's coming through with you guys, but you're looking at it, and it can be a more grounded and anchored time for communication and movement for you guys. But again, you're only moving towards what serves you. Although we pick the Taurus frequency coming through as a very positive time, creatively speaking, it's also with the sun energy in Taurus. It's like, in order to have that, what do you need to let go? You know, and it's a mindset. It's not a 3D thing. If the 3D thing is there and you're assessing it, it's helping you own your truth and your self-worth to move towards that. So that's a natural way of looking at it. If things are in alignment with you, you're going to naturally attract these energies towards you. Did I do that one already? We did Sagittarius. Yes, I've done that. Okay, Leo. Your placement for Taurus is 10th house. 10th house covers career, reputation, fame, lack of fame, and other parents. So if you're co-parenting, there can be some ways of anchoring in that energy and looking at things from a different perspective. It can be your mother or your father, but it's other parent. Other parent can be co-parenting as well. Even if you're in a commitment and you're directly dealing with a karmic energy, other parent. Regardless, for your communication sector, Mercury, the movement, the energy moving from Aries into Taurus for you guys. Again, creative speaking, you know, it can be where it can be a more tactile time for you to be more creative. It can also be a way of looking at an idea creatively but grounded, and knowing that, again, it is an aspect of a manifestation. It's a dream. So What dream career do you want? Network. It's really positive during this time to network. When it comes to your reputation, what would you need to change to get that to that next level? What steps would you need to take it to that next level? Again, it is coming back to beautifying a situation and doing things that are in alignment with you, that are creative and wonderful and attractive. Now, when it comes to the way people are perceiving you, again, in a communication sense, it might be you're working in communication, and this will be more for those of you who are in the communication sector. Your fame or lack of, again, look at it from a creative standpoint. What do you need to do in order to change that to make it more attractive and appealing? I do feel it may be upgrading certain aspects of technology. It could be advertising on your vehicles, anything to that degree. I do feel it's going to be changing. It could be updating your business cards or your appearance, your wardrobe. Although it is connected in with your career, it is where you're looking at things. The retrograde cycle is going to help you do that with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. But again, the energy coming over to Mercury is, do you need to upgrade your car? Do you need to get to a place where you're looking at your past tense efforts? And, if so and everything's being balanced, it's going to continue on in that Taurian fashion where it's going to create a lot of abundance for you. When the sun energy comes through in Taurus in this area, again, I'm feeling great reflection, connected to your career, your reputation, past tense mistakes, how to build upon it. And it could even be you in an intuitive way reflecting back on co-parenting and how that was working and how that wasn't, and how to anchor that energy back in again. Again, it could be a pain body experience of something that comes up with that. To help you look at that, to purge an aspect, to move forward. Now, anything you're wanting to manifest around the moon energy and potentially a week after is going to be positive, providing you've let go. Like I said, most of coming into May was Aries frequency, Chirons and Aries. Getting the wounds, looking at yourself and looking at what you need to do, what comes up, and then going back and realizing we have Mercury, Uranus, Sun, Moon, and Venus moving into Taurus. Okay, so what do you want to change in these areas? Was your work life impacting your romance house? And again, that will be relevant for Cancer too. Your reputation and how people perceive you within your connection, your fame or lack of fame, your notation within your relationships, how, whether you will put on the back burner and now anchoring into that earth energy, are you going to be put first place? Okay. I do feel some of you are wanting the best of both worlds, in a sense that you're wanting your career and you're wanting a romantic life, and you're trying to find a balance in that. And I do feel there's a lot of communication about that. Being your 10th house, let's see what's coming through for Leo. Yeah, really deep reflection. This is good though, because it means you're reflecting upon what you're wanting to create, what was in the past, what's to be in the future. And I'm going to pull one more card for you guys, because I feel as though this is the point where you're getting this download. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Luciana. And I feel after you've had your download and you've assessed these areas through the Taurus moon, you're going to shift. Okay, you're really going to be looking at what's not balanced. What's fair, what's not. You're getting into the Taurus frequency. You want it anchored in. You want to move towards something that's beautiful, creative, lavish, abundant. You're no longer willing to settle for lower frequency. And that's in every area of your life. Wanting to get to a place where you can co-create that beautiful life. Are you with me? Are you against me? It's like the Three Musketeers. Like, let's get on with this. Let's move towards what's more valuable. What are we going to do to make that happen? I do feel the Hermit mode card for you. You're thinking about all these things. You're doing deep reflection, but don't feel that to be a bad thing. If we don't think about what is and what isn't, we don't have the answers. And this whole transit of the retrograde is we will go outside of ourselves. But we only hold the answers, and the only way we will get them is by, yes, communicating, yes, readings, yes, working through blockages again, and then going into self and saying, okay, after all I've experienced and all I've assessed, what do I now feel and what am I going to do to change that? Virgo, your Taurus sector is your 9th house. Virgo, spiritually speaking, you guys are going through a change. What have you learnt? It's all connected to religion, education, foreign countries, and travel. Okay. Now, Mercury is an aspect of travel with obviously communication, the way we use our technology, vehicles, short journeys. You're reflecting back upon these areas. And again, you do want to start moving in a positive direction. I do feel as though your beliefs, when you know what you're communicating and what you're thinking is changing. It might become more grounded, and you could be more romantic in your communication style. Again, I am seeing potentially communication either coming from you or from another individual being at a more grounded level coming through. I do also feel that your belief systems are changing. And a lot of the way you see things are more grounded and anchored in. A lot of what's going on right now is really educating you. And I do feel, for those of you who are networking, interstate, overseas, I do feel this is very relevant to you. And again, it is about getting creative. It is about, and I'm seeing a lot of people in this transit really coming to a place where you're looking at beautifying an old situation. And again, with Pluto, birth, deaths, endings, and resurrection. Can it be fixed? Look at it as Humpty Dumpty. Look at each scenario that you're directly assessing in your life as Humpty Dumpty. And then look at it, hi Ange, then look at it with Saturn being father figure of universe and say, okay, this looks like a huge burden. Now, have this big wheelbarrow full of rubbish. How heavy is it? What do you want to take out of that wheelbarrow and grow? And what do you need to discard because it's a burden and it's no longer resonating with you? So with Mercury being in Taurus in your 9th house, what is your belief system? What old paradigms do you need to let go of? And what old conditioning patterns are you letting go of? And that can be a massive purge. Again, with the way you communicate, it can be that you are communicating more eloquently or you are wanting to be more grounded and understanding, and you're only moving towards and growing and building what is beautiful. But it can be updating technology. It can be, again, updating vehicles. I don't feel it in a negative term. It's more an upgrade than a degrade, okay? So it's cleaning up what you have, looking at your communication, looking at your technology. It might be updating something. So it could be your television, your telephone, your computer, and you're looking at the technology and you're thinking, okay, in order for me to do this task at work, I need to update these areas. It could be because of education. You might need extra a computer to do the skills that you're actually doing for that education. Again, when it does come to the sun being in Taurus, again, it can be an egoic state, but again, you may get grand enlightenment. But with the Taurus energy, be cautious of the rose-colored glasses. I mean, you're learning a lot of things. You could be attracted to a beautiful country and want to travel. What are you going to do to make that happen? If you're really wanting to have that movement, this transit is going to show you what you're attracted to and what you're not, and how you're going to move that physically forward. And I do feel you're really meditating in that area about the bigger picture. Okay, what you now believe, what you've learnt, where you want to go from here. With the moon being in Taurus, again, positive time to manifest, but tune in to what you're wanting, because your first card you got was the Hangman. You feel somehow some of the power is outside of you, okay? The power is completely within you. And I do feel you realise that. Hi, Dale. I do feel you realise that, but you're assessing the past in order to proceed forward. And this is what the Taurus energy is giving you. And I don't feel it has to be a huge trigger point. I feel it's more rational looking. What's abundant? What's not? What do I want to resurrect with the Pluto frequency, and what can I get back on track to a point where I need it? So you're pausing, but I feel this is a choice. It could be with the egoic state with the sun, you're feeling the 3D is looking pretty hectic, and what do I do? That's because of the other planets retrograde. So just rationalize it and say, okay, I'm not stuck. I'm going to meditate upon what downloads I'm getting, how I'm looking at my fears about the past and my potential path forward, what I'm wanting to manifest and what that's going to take. You need to meditate on that. You're not stuck. All of us have power. What would you need to do to make those dreams come true? Again, with Pluto, what are you willing to resurrect? It's like looking at your workload and saying, okay, gee, I've got a lot. Do I need to restructure this? That's what I did today. Let's restructure. And restructuring it, you're more motivated because it's more attractive. So you're more willing to put extra effort in because it's more balanced assessment going on. This is going to cause you a wake-up call. So although you're getting from this point, which is the sun, and I do feel when it moves into the moon frequency, which for me, it's already today, and you can feel the energy easy a week after, we do have around the 18th the moon falling into Scorpio, and I'll do a different video for that, and we will cover it similar to this here. This energy of judgment is coming through. So yes, it's going to be a wake-up call. You're going to have some enlightenment as to what to do now. So when it does come to your Venus house in Taurus, it could be that some of you may be getting married. Some of you may be actually checking in with frequency and going, okay, and marriage can be in many levels. It can be taking the connection to the next level, investing in connections and reconnecting in the connections to make them balance. But what's your belief? Do you believe it can't be fixed? What can't be done? Are you willing to do the work? Are both parties willing to do the work? What do you need to do to enjoy, indulge, relax, connect? Those energies are coming through with the Taurus. Now, the Taurus and Venus. It is your 9th house of religion. So it can be some of you, if you've separated, you're purging a connection, but you're now going to feel more enlightened that you're now open to new. Some of you also, and it is a very good energy regardless of what's going on. So try not to get triggered, because with the Taurus frequency, you're manifesting good in. But you've got to let the old go to bring the new in. It doesn't have to be a person. It's the belief system. You're going to learn a lot about a person. It could be more open as well. And they can be a foreigner from another country, or you may choose directly to travel together. So there is a lot of movement with you guys, but there's a pause. And then there's, okay, no more time for thinking. Now that you've had that assessment, what do you want? Libra. Okay, what house is yours? Okay, you have your 8th house is Taurus. The 8th house covers life, death, money, and legacies, wills, and the ability to rebuild. It can be a time when you're really reflecting on things that have gone. Now, death can be a physical death of people passing, but again, it can be all the new beginnings, all the new starts that Librans have. And Librans have had 7 years easy, and there's always zodiac signs that have transitional states. At the moment, Capricorn, Cancer, they're going through mass changes. Obviously, the other planets with, I'll get back into that another time. There has been several, Aries as well has been going through a mass transformation. So there's always pockets of zodiac signs that will be going through it. Now, with life, death, money, legacies, it's like, now that the tower had come over all the years, Libs, what do you want to rebuild now? It's the rebuildability. You're looking at life, okay? You're looking at your whole life going, all right. With your Venus house, let's just look at your Venus house. Being in this area with Taurus, which is, okay, let's paint the pretty picture. Let's look at the most attractive versions of all you have to offer, all the other party has to offer, what you would expect in what you need as a base benchmark. It can be where you're looking at the structural foundation of it all, from what you learned in the past, what you want to leave behind, what you're taking forward with you from here. It's the fresh start, okay? So with that energy, moving on the 15th, you're looking at the life you're wanting to live with an individual or in general with love. You're also wanting a person, and I'm hearing death do your part. Can't make this shit up. Till death do your part, okay? You're not going to invest in shitty situations that aren't coming with you. You're just not. You're tired, and I feel it. You're tired, okay? You're like, okay, Houston, we had a problem in life. You know, and it might have been all the lessons you learned, all the things you took with you, and now you're like, okay, some balance needs to come in. Let's have a life. What do we need to do to create the romance in the connection, to create a rational, grounded connection? What do you want to leave behind? What do you want to rebuild on? And what needs to just go? Okay, so it's a very, very rational way of looking at it. You're also looking at, okay, what you're wanting to manifest in. Again, it can be a very intuitive time for you, and I do feel Librans are going to be very reflective during this time. You're going to get massive downloads. You're going to be looking at things from various angles. Various angles, because the moon energy is feminine, so it's from your perspective with all the information you received. What ended, what re-began, what you want to rebuild. It can be connections coming in from the past. Obviously, what you want to leave behind. You're looking at the whole lot, but I'm seeing you being a fly on the wall of the past, on the wall of the future, and with the Taurus energy, let's make it pretty. What do we need to do to make this, to build this shit? Build it and they will come. What do you need to do? You've got to shift things around. You're moving towards attractive energies. You're moving towards attractive ways of being, and you're building, okay? But you're only building on solid foundations. Now, base chakra, as I mentioned, have been coming up, and I do feel you're really going to be focusing on it. And look, it's not for me to wear colour, but red's base chakra. And I mean, I'm a Libran. I've got Cancer ascendant rising. The energy of base chakra, all of us are looking at, okay, earthbound energy. Earthbound energy. Let's get grounded. And that can be, you know, indulging, eating, drinking, art, luxury, love, romance, great communication. It's a lighter frequency, providing we're not stuck. Okay, if we're stuck, well, being in this position of the 8th house, you're going to be like, look, that's just, it's got to go. It can't come. It can't come because it's toxic. It's not healthy. It's unsustainable. We are just not doing that. Any person who's not, it's because of a transformation of an awakening, Dale. So each person will go through a different transit. Jupiter retrograde slows that down because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So we're going to mung out, okay? And when it goes retrograde, it's like, let's pull our belts in. What do we need to change? So when it comes to the moon, you're looking at your love life and you're looking at what needs to end, what you're manifesting in. You are purging a past as well as manifesting a future. So the sun and the moon are working together, Libra, in your 8th house of what you're going to rebuild, what you need to let go of spiritually. There can be a lot of purging coming up to let go of things and nurture yourself. I'm seeing nurturing yourself, and I'm seeing being able to bring the dream come true. I have to check the symbol on that card. I swear it's nurturing. Okay, with your spiritual sense, again, you're wanting to paint the dream. You've waited long enough and you're like, right, if I can't have this dream, what do I need to leave behind? Because this is the dream. I'm moving towards unity of my life, unity of my soul, unity of my third eye, my manifestation, my feminine frequency, my masculine frequency, my romance, and my movement forward. You're really wanting to get to a place where you can start attaining physical goods. You can start getting to a point where you have something for yourself, for the family, for love, for your life. You're moving towards grand communication, creativity, entrepreneurship. It's what you want to leave behind. It's what you want to build. So there is a rebuild effect with that. Last zodiac sign, Scorpio. Okay. The Taurus placement for you guys is in your 7th house. And again, it's marriage, contracts, and partnerships. Oh, God, Scorpio. Not bad. It's good. It's really good. Now, your 7th house in Venus, you're going to be looking at things, and it can be a more, and it's a great card that's fallen out, with any connections, couple, single, you name it, on the fence. Things are going to balance out. Hope's going to return, okay? So you're only investing, again, in what you feel is going to be the pretty picture. So I do feel there's going to be nostalgia from the past. Don't base your future based on nostalgia from the past, okay? When you're moving forward, what you've got to do is go, okay, in order to proceed forward, and I do feel this is collective energy. All of us are leaving the past behind. Leave the past behind. It doesn't have to be the person, the pain. Leave the pain behind. If you need to talk about it, but be grounded, okay? If you need to move forward, we all have to move forward, but if you're living in the past, you're not in the present. So, yes, it's a process to moving through those wounds. Trust me, I'm human, I'm a twin, and I've gone through the dark night of the soul, and we may continue back there, who knows? But if you don't deal with the blockages, you're actually blocking yourself. You are entrapping yourself. Entrapment, okay? You will not have the best life if you can't. And the Taurus energy is like taking a leap of faith. It's like you don't know what's going to happen. Are you going to throw caution to the wind? And are you going to jump in the deep end of your most infinite potential, abundant, beautiful life? Yes, you could fail, but if you're sitting on the couch just watching the show and you're not partaking in it, you will never know. We will fall down, but as long as we're in alignment with what's truthful for us, we're going to get there, and we're going to have those dreams one day. But if you sit on the couch and you wait for the knight in shining armor to come get you, or for that gold job to come through and be yours, and you're going, could lose a lot of money, we're never going to achieve these dreams. The moon being in Taurus is manifest. The sun being in Taurus is crap, can I do it? You know, but hey, what is my body saying? What's my intuition saying? Mercury, well, the movement, potentially the transport, the communication, the artistic endeavors of what you'll need to have that happen. Be it in your Venus house, be it, you know, in different areas of life. Hope is coming back, but you've got to hold that. It's not about someone coming to give you that hope. It's about you finding that hope and that dream inside, especially with the Neptune. So if you know what you want, even if they're not ready, but you know what you want, you're in alignment because you're ready. And like my girlfriend says, grab a bag of popcorn and watch. Because, you know, when you jump in the deep end, you're living your truth. You're actually saying, you know what, I have faith in myself. I know that I can move mountains. I know I can be everything I want to be. And I know that I will always attract that because I'm full of adventure. And I do feel there's the energy with Scorpio at the moment is that you guys are very intuitive. You know what you want, okay? You're very, very psychic. Know what you want and go for it. We may not have the full map, but you have the vision. Have the vision and the map. Look at it as a road trip. You could spend 7 years in Tibet on your couch, or you could spend 7 years in Tibet in your life. Which way do you want to do it? You know, it's like my nan used to do this, and she used to love red nails. So hey, nan, and twiddle the thumbs and go, okay, well, I could have done this, I could have done that, but I don't know. So, you know, I'm still here, and this is what I'm doing. If you're wanting to change your life with your partner, change your life with your partner. But what would you need to do that? And, you know, are you both on the same page? If you're thinking about a person and you're having to take a leap of faith, I feel you'll have the courage to do that by the 15th. But you're going to look at it from the 3D, from the 5D, weigh up the pros and cons, and then choose your spiritual truth with Uranus being in Taurus. What you need to take with you for that is probably coming through from Mercury. Do you need to communicate the truth? Do you need to move towards the truth? Do you need to upskill your creative endeavors? Now, this could be with your work, right? Being the 7th house of partnership. Are you networking enough and painting yourself attractively enough to get your net worth? Are you needing to look over your old contracts with a grounded eye and to sell yourself effectively to your co-workers, to your managers, to move your career forward? It's a positive time, but you've got to think outside the box and you've got to get creative. With your marriage, what would you need to do to get that back on track? With, you know, and it doesn't have to be a physical marriage. It could be a spiritual marriage you have, both with yourself and with the other person if you're a twin. What do you need to do in your life to just live in your truth? And sometimes that does mean being alone. Sometimes that means, you know, having adventure and networking and enhancing other areas of your life. And like attracts like, when you know your true net worth and your value and you're living your highest vibration life, things come towards you. And I do feel there is a lot of transformations. I do feel you guys, you know that something's going to happen. And I'll pull one more card. But yet you know something's got to change. You're going to have the downloads about it in the next week to 2 weeks. You want to do things that are abundant. You want to make good choices. You want to have joy back in your life, and you don't want to live small, okay? It can be where you're wanting to manifest more money in. You need to look at the contracts in your life. Are they abundant? What do you need to do to get them in balance? Where are the partnerships in balance? Where aren't they? Where is the connections in balance and where aren't they? Any questions? That was a rather long video now, wasn't it? Thank you for all that have liked the video. Oh, I did say I was going to read the cup, didn't I? I do have the cup here. Not this one. This is mine. What do you mean when you say anchor your energy in? When you're saying 144, it is connected to twin flame. They say the 1400. It tends to be that you have been focusing outside of yourself directly on your twin, or it's usually when you're coming into union. It's pretty close when you're going to have a reunion. But it's always asking you to trust in the process and to anchor your energy back in. So shift your process back onto yourself and believe. Detach, believe. You're going through a detachment stage. So that's what I'm meaning by that. But I will do those videos on Twin Flame Alchemist to Union so you guys know all of those things, and you can always refer back to it at any given time because I'll be doing numerology. Yeah, how to develop your psychic gift, chakras, ascension, Twin Flame path. I'll tell you things about mine so that you know what's happened and you know what process I went through with mine and with myself. Okay, now here's the cup. Now, Turkish coffee cup, I won't show it too long because it's bad luck. That's something a lot of people don't say. Now, there's going to be a lot of, usually when you have, and I won't go into the details inside the cup, but I'm going to show you here. When you have a path, okay, bad lighting, there's 2 parts here which are interlinking and joining. Now, in a cup, we usually take, I'll just say what it'll be. This is the beginning, right? This is where we stand right now. So this point here is where the beginning of the year is, and as we go around, it transitions and it goes clockwise. So the position of where the road is coming up is this month. And it's interesting because there's 2 splits in the road, which has mean 2 paths merging, 2 ways of being, but the road is open, okay? So it's meaning any movements through this Taurus kind of moon that we're going through, the road is going to be open. So no matter what you do, you can't if and but and move about it. You're going to end up on the same bloody road, okay? Whatever's to be is going to be. You can't avoid it. Too many planets in Taurus. Think about it. If somebody put you in a bucket of poop, would you live there forever? Like, we don't want to change. We don't want beautiful things. Load of crap. Okay? So no matter what, if you're scared and you're wanting to transform things and get them back on track, you could be scared for a bit, but I do feel no matter what, we're all going to end up on that same path and moving towards our higher self of what's best and in alignment. We can hold on to things for fear of change, but the reality is if it's not in vibrational alignment, it will always be taken from you. So you've got to be in your truth all the time. we're moving towards a more fashionable life, okay? A more pretty life. And that doesn't have to be finance, it's spiritually. What is right for you doesn't have to be right for the next Joe Block. There's movement, though. The path is open. So any hopes and dreams that you're moving towards, what romance roads, energies forward, you're moving towards it. The door's open, the road's open. Now, in that, it's interesting because there's a mountain here. It's almost like a peak in the cup. And look, if I was giving you a one-on reading, it's different. This is for YouTube, so I can show you the cup. But if it's a one-on-one reading, yes, I do cup readings. So if you want a twin flame reading, just tell me to drink coffee before and I can read it for you. The position in here looks like a mountain, okay? Now, it's interesting because with Saturn, I do relate it to the father figure of the universe and the mountain. Now, it almost looks like there's a volcanic activity coming through the mountain. And again, with Neptune and Pluto, you do tend to get volcanic activity. We can get eruptions, plates shifting. So there can be something to that degree, but it will happen more as well separately in a 3D way. So potentially we could have a tower moment, but it's descension to ascension. So whatever needs to come down in our life during this moon phase is going to create the positive Taurus energy moving in the next few weeks. This transit with Saturn is coming up with the Neptune energy towards the dream in a big bang, okay? So we're really going to know what we want. We're really going to move towards what we want. And it's interesting because at the bottom, you probably can't see it, there is a woman and a man at the bottom of the cup. And I don't know if you can see it. Just let me get a pen. See, I'm reading for YouTube, really? Here, incense stick, okay? Down the bottom here, if you can have a look, I'll bring it closer, right at the bottom, there. There is a Romeo-Juliet scenario. So there is a woman, there's a man, there's a woman, and there's a person standing. It's like Sleeping Beauty coming up. So if there's any people in life that are sleeping through their romance, it's going to come up. There's also going to be a romantic story, but it does come down to an awakening. You know, we do have to wake up to the truth of what we want spiritually in an ascension fashion where it goes up, right, to actually have that hope and dream. So there is the 5D and the 3D. There is an anchored in energy. The bed is actually on a solid rock underneath the mountain. The connections that are solid are going to stay. The connections that we're investing in that are rock solid and cemented and grounded are going to stay. So we needn't be threatened by that dynamic. It's interesting because to the side, there is a pushed up energy. Look how it goes like this. So it's gone from that and it's moving to that. Now, this can be where large lump sums do come through, but worry is reaching to the top. At the bottom of the cup, when we do have very thick, dense energy, it is clear, okay? There is something in the core of us, and it does look like a love heart just there. I don't know if you can see it, okay? We've got to go into our hearts and actually ask the questions of what we're in love with, what we want. There is also this bubbling up of energy, and usually when we see a thick mass, it can be energy of worry and stress. Whatever is stressing you is going to come to the surface. Talk about things before they get to that. Get to a point where you actually have conversations about that before it gets toxic, okay? Because whatever has been pushed down is coming up. But it's so the tower moment can happen, so the movement forward to your spiritual path can come. I do feel a lot of feminines are going to go through changes, but they've got a heavy weight on their head. They feel they've been carrying something for too long. It's interesting. I don't know if you can see this. There is, where am I? There is like a weight and a rope, and there's a female to the corner. Can you see her hair? There. And there is a big sack of sand. And then there's another female there. No, it doesn't have to be a female. There's another energy. So if you've been carrying someone for too long, or you've been carrying around a weight when it comes to waiting around for someone, when is this going to change? What's happening? The worry that you have again, can be in relation to movement, because now that it's dropping down a bit, I usually like it to dry a bit longer, but everything's divinely guided. There is a man's head in the corner, like he's carrying around, you know, a lot of worries. So there is a male energy that has a lot of worries in front of them that they're dealing with. So it could be potentially masculines. Male energies in general are, again, dealing with a lot of 3D energy. Feminines are dealing with a lot of old hurts and a lot of old ways of doing things that's transforming. But both of you are doing it at a different level. Okay? Does that make sense? I do feel there could be potential more pregnancies around this time with the Taurus energy. I do feel also at a base chakra level, you know, if you're guided to, if you're needing a checkup, a fem check, go have a fem check, because there is things to the degree of that. Now, we can do it on the inside. Okay. To the corner there is a bull and an old man's face directly behind it. There is someone very quickly coming back from the past, and this could be in general an old energy, or it could even be a person in particular coming in very full on. But any movement that you've been waiting to happen, because the position of where it's falling is right here, right? This is the beginning of the year, moving forward to where we were talking about May. You've been waiting for this movement since last year. Now, they do say that this Taurus energy, the last time we had it was October last year. We've been waiting a long time for this ship to be sailing, okay? There's many things we wanted to change, and we were having a descension, ascension, dark night of the soul, limitations on movement forward, fatigue, frustration, crying, you name it, we had it, okay? So this Taurus energy has been waiting to come through, and even at an intuitive level, we were waiting, because it does really look like a bull. Look at that, bull charging. We were waiting from the beginning of the year, January, very uneasily. So what's going to happen? When's this going to change? We've been waiting since then. It's now coming through, okay? The Taurus energy is returning. Last time we had it was October. It's now here for having that movement forward, that abundant, lavish movement forward. Any questions? And then I'm going to go for a break. I'll have to rewrite that page because it's dirty with Turkish coffee. Any questions? If you're wanting a booking, the link will be below. And I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you during the month for all the updates. Thank you, all of you, for liking the video. I appreciate it. No questions? Because I need to have them washed. That's okay, Ange. Sorry I missed your call the other day. I've got 2 phones, so half the time I'm in here or I'm working with clients. Most welcome, Wendy, anytime. Look, as I said, most of this path was not the same, but, you know, things do happen for a reason. Is it organic tea? It's organic Turkish coffee, but I have been drinking more liquid lately and less coffee. But I was having one this morning, and I was like, I've said for so long that I'll read cups per zodiac, but again, it's like if I was to drink 12 coffees in one hit, I think I'll be pinging off the wall. So, but I do Turkish coffee. So if you have a hot chocolate or a Turkish coffee, turn the cup over if you get one from McDonald's or a fast food outlet, and you can photograph it at many angles, and I can read it. How do I work out what my mission is? Live life, be in the moment. Naturally, the mission will come directly to you. So it could be that you, there's many aspects of things that come towards you. Your life path happens. Some of us had lots of children and we were meant to be guiders and supporters. Other of us didn't, but we had lots of kids around us. So again, it was for us to purge that aspect. Mission is always doing what you feel you're being called to do. What is your workplace? You know, what has naturally life thrown into your lap and you've been doing for a while and you're really good at? It can even be you being you. What are you? Who are you? We're different every day. Just always being in your truth and moving towards what comes towards you. You know, if we're seeking all the time, we're never in the present, and we do need to be in the present. That is breaking codependent patterns. We need to know what's happening next. It's like, no, yes, you do, for a insight to say you're on the right path. Well, art is your path then. It may be that naturally, I mean, I've been psychic all of my life, and a lot of my transformation came from, well, before birth, but then after that, a lot of upgrades of my gift. And it was during a very taboo time of, you know, we don't talk about being psychic. So a lot of that education came from external sources and people that were like-minded, and naturally happened. And here I am now. So anything from spiritual attacks to seeing the dead, learning how to tap into my gift and tune into energies past, over, as well as future. That has had to be something I've worked on at various levels. But yeah, you tend to have something thrown at you, you know, it's like it's in your life all the time. I mean, I was in community for 25 years. So that was also me connecting in with the intuition and the spiritual gift of having to understand what that person's body language was, having to navigate what they were needing, whether they liked that food or disliked it, whether they were happy or sad, empath kind of development. Everything does happen for a reason. Part of it will be, I mean, you might end up making tarot cards, who knows? It doesn't have to be a YouTube channel. It can be the artistic endeavors. It can be tuning into yourself. But anything that happens around you at the time will be part of your spiritual process. There will be times when you walk away from the psychic energy for a while. It'll always be with you, but, you know, where you need an upgrade and connect in with 3D again, anchor in, and then it'll come back again. But yeah, it can be the people directly around you and the types of vibration you're attracting. If they're all lower frequency, it's like you all have to be tolerant. And again, it's disconnect. You're having an upgrade. So every chapter of your life has a different subject. And it's all about your spiritual path. But protecting and enhancing your psychic gifts, especially if you're a twin, is very important, because it will actually protect you during your ascension. If you don't grow and develop that, it affects your safety in the frequency. So your dissension and dark night of the soul will be dangerous and heavy. So you need to develop it, okay? Yes, being in the moment, detaching from the outcome, knowing that anything worth having is going to be yours. Developing your intuition, clearing your old belief systems and, you know, your blockages within your chakras, past life energy. It could be teleportation, channeling. All of that is going to be on the other channel, where I will do, once I get live on that channel, I'll do that. But I'll be doing all of those subject matters as I'm guided to. Open the video so you can always use that as a resource. So it'll be like a astrology, psychic, chakra, spiritual channel. It's going to have everything on it. Anything to twin flame path, to blockages, to the mirror, and it's going to cover everything. So as people put requests up on the videos that I do on the other channel, all here or in the community, I will do subject matters based on that. But I'm going to do how to develop your psychic aspects too, based on what I've done and what worked for me. Love and light. If you're wanting a booking, link is below. You know the deal. Thank you very much, guys, for being very, very loyal to the channel. I love you all, and I'm very lucky that I have made many, many friends here. I mean, Jen, I love you to bits. I've been thinking about you for weeks. I know we're going to talk soon. But I've got so many friends from YouTube, many of the clients, and look, you guys help me as much as I help you. So it's a two-way street here. It's not one-sided. Stella, Sula, I mean, I could literally sit here for hours and tell you how many people. Andrew, Angela, I mean, she helped me through an aspect of mine at some stage. So, you know, we're all family here. It's all part of the, transformation. Giggle, I tell you what, we are so twinsies, us two. I mean, we're so artistic and creative, and, you know, we're real brainiacs. We're a bit like the dissector of the universe, aren't we? How can we do this? Nobody else is here. We're going to do it. And we sort it out somehow. Yeah, so it's great, you know, because we look at other people and we can see how they develop certain things and we can learn something from them and we can take it away, but it always directly comes back to us, you know. And just being to a place where you're okay with you without any apologies. It's like we are who we are, and just find peace with that. The ones that get stuck will be because they have no peace with themselves. Nothing you can do about that. You got to do the hard work to get there. Love and light.